you still work for Alisha? Dating red flags you look for. Tips for saving money. How do you prevent burnout? Is Matt King really your cousin? Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I have not sat down and done a sit-down Q&A and it feels like years. I have a lot of updates, which is why I wanted to do a much-needed Q&A with y'all. So I went over to Handy Dandy Instagram and asked y'all a bunch of questions. By the way, if you haven't followed me on Instagram at TK's Juicy Polls, also subscribe to my podcast channel. It is growing, which makes me feel so good, and I feel like you guys are loving the episodes, so definitely go subscribe to that channel. I'm going to link down below the Making Moves channel so you can go subscribe to it right now and then bounce back to this video. I'll also link down below my TikTok at TK's Juicy Polls and the Making Moves TikTok so that you are all up to date with everything. First question is, pros and cons of living in LA versus Indiana, from Ollie. Oh gosh, there's so many. One thing I love about LA is how diverse it is in every capacity. The thing I don't love about Indiana, on the other hand, is how not diverse it is. I think people are a lot more close-minded there. I think a lot of people all think the same. I think it's important to see things from a different perspective or understand why people are the way they are because they grew up in a different scenario or had a completely different upbringing than you. Obviously, I love the weather in LA. I also love just how health and fitness is a priority in LA. People love being active. People are always outside. There's trails like for hiking and whatnot. There's the beach, the ocean, you can swim. It's just a very active city, not to mention all of the healthy food options. I guess those are like the little things. One thing I love about Indiana though is how, I guess, kind people are. Like it's very common to know your neighbors, help them out, see people you know at the grocery store, hold the door for people, talk in the elevator, etc. In Indiana, people don't care as much about like who you are and what you can do. They still do, like it still exists in other parts of the world. It's just amplified a ton living in LA. Everyone has an ego, everyone's trying to make it, everyone's using everyone to get to where they want to be. My favorite thing about Indiana is probably the men. I feel like they're gentlemen, they are very chivalrous. They're just guys. I'm not into the selfie taking, mirror picture, Hinge profile. Like that could not be further from my type. I love a guy that is really into sports. He loves sports, knows more about sports than me, is athletic. I don't know. I just kind of like when they're not in the like social media insane, like making thirst trap TikToks. That is just personally not my type. And I feel like Indiana guys don't typically do that. I love how people appreciate the little, small, simple things in life in Indiana. Whereas in LA, they're like, oh, you didn't get courtside to the Lakers playoff game last night? Weird. I right now feel like I'm in a place where I love the shit out of LA and I can't see myself going back to Indiana because the small-minded people drive me nuts. If you're a creative or you do a job that's not a typical doctor, lawyer, nurse, teacher job, people kind of like look at you weird or think of you differently, and it's like not a good feeling. Whereas in LA, people embrace like weirdos. Top go-to gifts for someone's birthday. Ooh, this is a great question. 1, Le Labo perfume. So expensive, so it would be for someone you like really care for, but it's such a good gift. I love the Skinny Confidential Ice Roller. I think it's way overpriced. I want to say it's like $60 or something, which is so stupid. I wish it was more in the $30 range. But again, if it's like for a girlfriend you really care about, they have everything. It's a great item and I use mine literally all the time. Girls and guys, I've gotten that gift, so slay. As far as smaller, less expensive gifts, one of my favorite things to get is the Summer Fridays lip butter. Oh my God, the vanilla, the pink sugar, there's even a red one. That is such a good gift. One, because everyone uses the shit out of it and it smells so good and it's just like easy and small. Oh, another one of my favorite gifts to give is a wine wicks candle. One, because they're like super sustainable, but they're affordable. They smell fucking amazing. I think they're a lot less chewy than like a Bath and Body Works candle. I have a whole gift guide, now that I think about it, from this year, so I would just go check that out. Okay, next question. Dating red flags you look for. Ooh. Okay, first red flag I'm thinking of, when they're rude to like any type of service worker. I also think this is just a red flag, not even in men, but just in girls and like friends. If they're talking shit about someone they're really close with, I'm like, whoa, that's weird. I like always note that. I'm like, why are you telling me that? when we're not even that tight, you know, and you're talking shit about your friend because I know you're gonna go back to that friend and be talking shit about me. So always pay attention to that. Oh my God, a huge red flag is if they don't have a hometown friend. I think that's so weird. If you don't have anyone from your hometown you're like still in communication with or are still friends with, like you don't have to be best friends, but that's weird. If you live somewhere for, you know, 5+ years and you don't have anyone you can talk to from that time in your life, I don't know. I just think that's a little sus. If they're not asking me intentional questions, like wanting to get to know me, I feel like that's a red flag. Best dating tips. Wow, I feel like you guys have a lot of dating questions. Be willing to put yourself out there, even if it's not someone that you think is your type. Be open-minded because you never know who could be a great fit for you unless you try. Be yourself, like say whatever you're feeling. Don't feel like you need to be too suave or say something too funny or whatever. Just like be yourself. I feel like a lot of girls overthink what they're doing like I used to do. I think the main thing you need to worry about is if you like them versus trying to make them like you. Wear something that will like help you embrace your flirty feminine side. Anna Grace is the one that told me this and I feel like I've been tapping into that and it's working. Would you be roommates with Ashley Nicole? Honestly, yeah. I feel like I would, but I love living alone and I honestly don't ever want a roommate again until it's my husband. But other than that, I don't see myself having a roommate just because, I don't know, I love living alone. But never say never, you never know. Do you still work for Alisha? No. Isn't that crazy? No. This is the first time I've ever talked about it. This is like a whole other video for another day, so stay tuned for that. The simple answer is I ended my 4th year working for her and it just felt like I was in my senior year and I was ready to graduate. Being in a job nowadays at my age, like I'm 25, I'm still very young. Most people my age don't even keep a job for like a year. So 4 years was so long, but also the best 4 years of my life. Oh my God, I'm gonna get teary-eyed talking about it. It's because I miss it so much, but I know I need to give myself a chance or bet on myself for once instead of helping everyone else. It's truly been an emotional roller coaster and the hardest decision I've ever made in my life, literally. I wish I could do it all. I wish I could be a full-time producer for her. I wish I could be a full-time producer just in general. I wish I could do the influencer thing, but it just got to be too much. And I feel like I outgrew the position a little. I've always wanted to try and do this creator thing on my own. And I want to be a host. That's my dream, is to be a host. So if not now, I was like, when am I gonna do it? And I just felt like it was time. I don't even know how to explain it other than that. It basically happened for realsies in January, but it's kind of been like in the works for a hot minute. I'll explain this all in another video. But yeah, I wanted to keep you updated. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to have this channel. I wouldn't have been able to make this decision. I wouldn't have been able to bet on myself. I wouldn't have been able to get any hosting opportunities. So I'm so grateful for you, especially those of you that have been with me since the beginning of me working with Alisha. And don't get me wrong, like her and I are always up to something. I will start a company with that girl one day. I want to start like a production company. She is literally my work wife for life. I just feel like my specific position I outgrew. And I'm so excited to just be friends. This is the first time I've ever watered my own plant before watering someone else's, and it's like an insane feeling. I can't wait to see what the future holds for the both of us individually and as a dynamic duo. That's that. Yeah. How do you prevent burnout? Breaks are amazing. Not only big breaks, but little breaks. So in my scenario, on the weekends, really take a day off. But also don't be afraid when winter break comes up, take those 2 weeks off or take that week off or whatever. I know not everyone has that privilege. Take little breaks, they are so valuable. One of my favorite sayings ever is you should always leave the party before you think you should. And I think this reigns true for a lot of categories, but specifically burnout. Like, leave the job, leave the relationship, leave the activity, whatever it is, you are getting that sense that you're about to feel burnt out, because everyone knows when you're about to feel that. Don't be afraid to like journal, reflect, write down exactly how you're feeling. That can help you really decide where you want to take the next step. And with burnout, I think the best thing overall is take as many breaks as possible. Even if you don't feel like you need it, it's still necessary, especially if you're in the creative field. Tips for saving money. I guess the main tip that I would have to say is every time you get a paycheck, have a percentage, which I have it on my bank account, that anytime I get any type of deposit, there's 20% of that is immediately going to my savings, and then just over time it grows. And you need to have a bank account where you're not allowed to touch unless there's an emergency. I would recommend that. Fave travel destination you have visited. I guess like location wise, probably Greece. I also loved Croatia. Like I'm such a water baby, so the scenery in Greece and Croatia were just absolutely breathtaking. Like I feel like my inner child was healed at both of those places. What are some aspects that make being an influencer challenging? Well, first of all, this is like a very lucky and privileged job to have. Trust me, out of anyone, I know how lucky it is to have this job. Coming from someone that worked for an influencer for 4 years, there would be times where I'd show up to work and I'd be like, wow, it's so cool that you're in charge of your schedule. Like my schedule revolved around her schedule, but the fact that her schedule just revolved around her and whatever she wanted to do, I was like, that is a privilege. That's the main thing I am loving, is that. But with having that privilege also comes its hardships. For instance, it's epic that you have your own schedule and you're in charge of everything, but then you have to hold yourself accountable. It's way easier to be told what to do than to figure out and make all the decisions for yourself on your own. That's one of the things that I find to be challenging. I talked about this on my podcast before, but I don't think it's normal to see the amount of negative comments about you. Like, of course, people talk shit, but reading comments that are negative about you kind of on the regular is like something you're just supposed to roll with and get over. It's a part of the job. But I don't think that's normal. I think that is a challenging part. I think there's several things with any job that are harder than others, but at the end of the day, it is my dream job and I really can't complain. Is Matt King really your cousin? Yes. Favorite activewear and why? Great question. Lately, I've been loving Free People Movement. One, because I feel like it fits really well. And it's high quality. Like I can do burpees in it. I can go for a run in it. I feel like aloe is like high quality and so expensive, but some of the stuff, it's like, I can do a burpee and that's my tit's gonna fall out. Free People, I feel like has nailed that. And it's so cool. Like it's trendy, it's hot. It almost looks like regular clothes, but it's activewear. They have fun, sick colors. I've just been really into Free People Movement. Wardrobe staple pieces. Definitely a long white button down. This is gonna sound so crazy, but the Lululemon, I think it's called the Swiftly long sleeve black top that's like tight and form fitting. It kind of looks like this, but it's like activewear. That is an essential in my wardrobe. Like I wear the shit out of that. I think a great pair of sneakers. I think a fun bag, like a bag is worth splurging on. It's actually a great question. Not saying it does, but do you ever feel like the fame and fortune has gone to your head? And what I mean is like, do you have to give yourself reality checks? I've always wondered what it would be like being an influencer. Love your content, with the cherry emoji. Okay, that was very sweet. I'm LOLing because the fame and fortune, I'm like LOL, like that isn't me, but I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, I think I definitely have reality checks all the time. Specifically when I hear myself complain about something, it's such a first world problem. That's why I like surrounding myself with hometown friends or people outside of this industry, because they keep it really real with me and help me touch grass when, of course, I'm human. My head goes to a different place sometimes, and that's why it's important to have family members or friends that will bring you back down to earth. But I would say, like, in comparison to the typical LA influencer, I think I have a great head on my shoulders. Me being so humble right now. The only times I am letting the fame and fortune get to me is really when I'm comparing myself, or I'm insecure, I'm bitter about something, and then I'm comparing myself to others, and then I say whack ass shit because I'm bitter. But I don't think it's gone to my head like it has some people in this industry. What motivates you to push yourself so hard? Work, social life, fitness, etc. I'm a 3 on the Enneagram, which means I'm the achiever. So I naturally always want to be better. I always want to be the best. I'm quite literally never satisfied, which is a blessing and a curse. So fortunately, motivation kind of comes easily to me. I feel like I'm most of the time, like 90% of the time, motivated. I'm the type of person where if, I'm comparing myself to so-and-so, let's just talk in influencer world. Someone that has 1 million followers, I have 100K. I'm looking at them as inspiration. I'm not looking at them as, why don't I have that? I feel like I see it through a lens of, I would love to have that. How do I get there? And how can they inspire me? Versus like, why do they have that and I don't? That's just the way I think. And I'm very grateful that that is the way I think. But there are times when I am not motivated, for sure. Specifically these last 6 months where I was going through my quarter life crisis, when I didn't know what the heck was going on and I was losing motivation, specifically with the gym and like taking care of myself. How did I get motivation? I think the first thing you need to do is actually give yourself a day or a week or whatever you need to like get back on the horse. I think also starting small. Like if it feels impossible for you to go to the gym and in the past you were an athlete and it was so easy for you to go to the gym and as a part of your routine, don't compare yourself to your old self. Try and be as present as possible and be like, okay, I haven't been to the gym in a month. Let's see if I can go once or twice this week. Like be really realistic with yourself and be like, okay, what's a realistic goal? I always think about that too when it comes to like waking up early. Like right now I feel like I'm not on my early morning shit. Like, what I've been trying to do is just like every day go to bed a little earlier or wake up a little earlier. Instead of setting my alarm for 6 a.m. tomorrow when I know I'm gonna snooze and I'm not gonna get up. Tomorrow, let's set it for 7:15. I think just being really real with yourself and making new, insanely easy goals, because once you cross off the first thing, it's just easier to do the second. It's like a snowball effect. How did you deal with post-grad, struggling with pressure and talk from everyone? Post-grad is one of the most challenging, weird times because no one prepares you for it. It's really like you're leaving camp, aka college, and they're like throwing you out into the real world and they're like, so what are you gonna do? And you're like, I don't have any idea. I think the main piece of advice I could give is one, know that literally no one has any idea and there's people that are in their 40s and have no idea what they're doing. So one, just know that that's okay and that's completely normal. Two, I would take the time to really find a job that you love. Like don't just jump into something because they're the first people to offer you something. If you're really trying to, you know, be a boss ass bitch and have this amazing career, like really use a journal and write down like, okay, what do I want to be one day? So for instance, if you're wanting to be the owner of a beauty company one day, you really need to work backwards and decide what is a great stepping stone to getting you to that owning a beauty company position one day. Look at every opportunity as you being a sponge and you're soaking every little thing in. The good, the bad, the ugly. Soak it in, take everything as an opportunity to help you get to the next step. And don't compare yourself to others. I'm prime example. I do not have the normal, typical creator, influencer route. So don't compare yourself to others on TikTok or the internet or just in your industry that have skyrocketed in their space, or you know, they have everything that you want and more, and just embrace where you're at because your time will come. Everything happens for you, not to you. What's something that people don't know about you? I'm a lot more sensitive than people, I guess, think I am because I'm really good at putting on a front. That's the one thing in regards to being a Cancer that I relate to. I feel like I am sensitive, like I do take things to heart, but then there's that side of my brain that's like, nothing is personal in real life or this industry or anything. So I definitely talk myself out of it, but I am a sensitive gal. Who's your dream podcast guest? Ooh, Reese Witherspoon, Kris Jenner, the Carlson sisters. I love them. Let me manifest that for a second. Aaron Andrews, Kylie Jenner, that would be fucking sick. Athletes like Michael Jordan, LeBron, any of those people. I would. Rich Paul, I think his job's so cool and his story is so cool. How long did it take you to make money off of social media? Ooh, great question. Really, until I got a manager, which is when after I grew on YouTube. So I would say I was trying for like 3-ish years. I mean, I didn't start making my money off my podcast for like 4 years. Good things take time. When was the last time you kissed someone? 4 days ago? 5 days ago? This is my flirty era. Are you planning on making a YouTube video schedule? I've tried. I would love to. Right now I'm in the midst of trying to find an editor / I'm really picky with editing and it's just, I don't know. Let me know if you guys would like a schedule. Do you even care about schedules? Like what's the vibe with schedules? Should I have a schedule? I don't know. Yeti Hydro Flask or Stanley. Oh my God. I'm liking the Stanley cup, but mine's like a fake one. I got it at Target. My favorite is my Gatorade water bottle. The little squeezy nipple top, and it's in hot pink. So cute. I think it's the best for working out. 3 tips for beginner editing. Ooh, okay. First tip is always cut on movement. So if I'm like, and then we went to then I would cut at me doing this, don't be afraid to L cut and J cut. This is gonna sound so gibberish to some people, but if you're an editor, you'll get this. L cutting and J cutting is your friend. You should never feel like there's a stop or an abrupt moment in the video. If you have B-roll of Dodger Stadium, then have the rest of your clip of you talking underneath so that it's always flowing. Like, it should always add to the video. Don't be afraid to show your personality through editing, because I feel like that is a huge reason a lot of creators don't blow up. And editing takes a long time to get good at. You really have to practice, you have to play, you have to take time, like, enjoy the process. Would you ever get a pet? Duh, I want a golden retriever. Everyone knows this. I would love 2 golden retrievers. I used to want to have a girl and a guy, and like have a brother and sister and name them Hoosier and Daddy. Did you ever have a side hustle to make some extra cash while living in LA? Oh my God, I've got a gazillion side hustles. I've done so many like random shoots, random editing gigs. I've done it all, like literally. Selling clothes, internships, random days on set that I was an assistant, so many random things. Have you ever had injections? No, I've actually never gotten any type of like plastic surgery. Botox, I've never gotten that. I've never gotten anything, but I do want to get the chin lipo thing eventually. Oh, great question. How is 75 hard going? I was crushing it, and then I got strep throat. I went to the Taylor Swift concert. I went with a boy. I had the best time ever. I got strep throat, I think from the plane. This is all 75 hard. This is where I got sick. It got ruined and now I'm off track. I've been keeping up with it, but not like the way that I should be. So I think I wanna like actually commit to it next year, next January, and see if I can do it the full 75 days, no breaks. How are you doing? Are you happy with where you're at in your career and personally? I really am. I really am happy with life right now. I'm so grateful to be where I'm at and be in the position I am in. Thanks for asking. That was really sweet. That's pretty much it. I mean, there's several other questions I didn't get to, but maybe we'll do another Q&A if you guys want to hear more. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Also, thank you so much to anyone that's like given me any type of supportive energy or just support in general regarding my new life update job situation. It was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life, and I'm so grateful for you guys for being there for me. I talk a lot about my life update and changes also on my podcast, so definitely go watch Making Moves. Don't forget to make someone's day this week. Peace. I love you guys.